I took a really cool and fantastic campus ministry team at St. Thomas Aquinas to kind of pull me back in. And then I even found my best friend, and we went on the first awakening retreat that St. Thomas ever had. And from then on, our relationship just bloomed, and she became my confirmation sponsor and is still one of my greatest friends to this day. But even being confirmed, I was still like, I don't know if I'm really in on this Catholic thing. I was still questioning. I even remember when the oil was placed on my forehead, I was standing right over there, and I remember when Father did that, like, it was so touching, but I still questioned. I was like, am I doing this right? Like, does everybody else around me, like, get this, and I'm not doing it right? But, college was great. College is an awesome time to, like, figure out who you are, and I don't think that people tell that about they don't tell you that about college. Like, everybody's like, oh, yeah, it's so fun. You're figuring out your life, and they're like, well, but also, like, you got to figure out who you are. And at 18, you have to make this huge decision about life, like you're going to go somewhere else, but it's also really hard. I thought I knew my faith going into college, but I had a really stable fertile ground that my parents had entrusted in Christianity with me. And so it was my turn now to really make that flourish. But I think before and after Mass, my life was not totally in line with what I did on Sundays. It was almost like on Sunday mornings, I got in, I turned the station to the Christian station, but then like Saturday nights, I was like, all right, we are turning on the party music and we are doing all the things that I'm going to confess on Sunday. And that was not a great ritual. Again, I was doubting Christ's love. I was doubting again and again and again, like, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? Like, I'm supposed to go to Mass, but like, why? Why was I going to Mass? Why was I longing for this? What was I actually looking for? I was really doubting the Eucharist, and I'm ashamed to say that up here because I know in Joey's talk I guess it's in January, he talks about his love for the Eucharist. And I'm going to be the first person to stand up here and tell you, like, I struggle with that so much. And that's a really vulnerable thing to say, and I'm kind of like wanting to cower and run away right now. But I struggle with that. And my grandmother, who was a huge influence in my life, when I told her that one time, I walked in and we were just talking about our faith and stuff, and I said, well, I'm struggling with the Eucharist. And I think I almost truly killed her. And then she ran back to the back room and found 12 books about the Eucharist. And she was like, you have to believe in the Eucharist. This is, and I was like, well, it's not that I don't believe. Like, I believe, but I need to talk through this. And so I think it really worries people around me when I say I struggle with the Eucharist. But again, I did the rituals. I kept going back. I kept repeating the things. And that was a huge, now looking back, it was like, that was the thing, though, that kept me going. It's like, sometimes you have to just abide. Sometimes to continue and to get to the heart of the matter, you have to keep doing the things. It's not all just going to explode and, make sense right in front of you. So I'm here to tell you, like, doubting is okay. It leads to questioning, and questioning then leads you to answers. And it's not always like a one-stop shop, right? Like, I remember going to confession here at St. Thomas, and every Sunday I was like, all right, doing the same thing. I'm still doubting. I'm still having issues. I still don't understand this. You're like, that's okay. Like, you need to question that. You need to go back and forth. You need to have this. I felt like I was kind of like a Catholic with like one toe in the water and then like one foot out. Like, I'm not sure that I'm totally into this, but I also know this is the only thing I know, so I'm going to stay in this. And as you heard in my intro, I was a journalist for the first part of my career, and so I was talking to people for a living, and so it was really hard for me it's really hard for me now to admit this, like, out loud, to say that this is something I struggle with, but it's something that I struggle with out loud, and I have talked about because it's led me closer to Christ. Not because I'm ashamed of it, but because I want to know Christ. Especially during the pandemic, like, I felt like it was not lost on me, the longing for the Eucharist. And after really researching and understanding, and like, sometimes faith is one of those things that, like, your brain just doesn't, like, your heart in your head, just sometimes there's a connection there's a loss of connection. And so sometimes I just need to, like, get that back in check.